I'm going to start with Gary. Gary was, when he was young, I, rem, oh gosh, I remember he caught some young boys starting a fire. And he ran in and told us, because he knew that wasn't something you were supposed to do. Whenever somebody was playing with matches, he would tell us about it. Well, we didn't hide our matches. We put them on top of the fridge, and we didn't worry about it because Gary always, told on people if they were playing with matches. And I think it was a Sunday, and I remember I was in the kitchen doing dishes, and all of a sudden I hear the fire alarm, and I'm like, it's doing it again, because a few days before it had gone off. And so I wasn't really very worried about it. And so all of a sudden I saw smoke. And so I run back there, and he had caught my closet on fire. And my little baby Becca was in that room, scared me half to death. And so I grabbed Becca, ran out, and all of a sudden I thought, where's Gary? I couldn't find Gary. And he had gone across the street to some of our neighbors' house. They may have grabbed him, I don't know for sure. But it was very, very scary, to say the least. And I thought, I could have lost my little girl if we didn't have fire alarms, and we didn't hurry and go grab her. The other kids we took out with us. I remember our bishop at the time said that he wanted us to go to GI in the bishop's storehouse because, we probably lost clothes and everything. But I don't think we did. I think we were able to sustain ourselves. Our neighbor, when she saw the smoke coming out, she called 911, and they put her on hold. And she said that, she's like, their house is on fire, you need to get here. One of our neighbors was a volunteer fireman, so that helped. He came over really quick. And they got the fire out. It mainly was our closet and bedroom that had fire damage. The rest of the house had smoke damage. And I was pregnant for Aunt Tiffany, and I still can't stand to smell even campfires, because it makes me think of that fire. We were all standing out front, everybody staring at our house. And then afterwards, our neighbors offered to help clean things, and they told us to use Dawn liquid dishwashing soap. And so all of our neighbors washed our plates and did things like that. We had someone come in, and they, fixed the house up, got rid of the smoky smell. An interesting side note, though, is a few years later, our dryer started smoking, and the firemen came over, and they kicked the bathroom door in because it was locked. There was nothing in there. But yeah, we've had 2 house fires. So after the fire, we needed to find a place to go, so we went to one of those hotels where you can stay long term, and we lived there for a while, and then we were able to get back into our house. I don't remember anything much more about that at this moment, but it was very interesting and scary, and I was just great. I didn't care about the stuff in the house. All I cared about was my kids and Rod, that they were all safe. And so that I was very grateful, and still am, because I love my babies. Now, Gary, at the time, now you can't take a knife to school. But back then it wasn't a big deal. And the night before, he'd sharpened his what do they call them? The little knives. Anyway, it was a little, well, not a big knife. And he had sharpened it, and he had taken it to school, and he was on the bus. And all of a sudden, I believe it was Steve Best said, "What did you do to your leg?" Because he had been running it across his leg. He did not feel it. But it was very long. And so the bus driver, Scott got up and went over by him too. And the bus driver came back and he thought Scott had cut him. But no, he had just had a really sharp knife that went through his blue jeans. And I had just gotten home from having my hysterectomy. And so Rod hurried over to find him, and eventually I don't know if he took him to the doctor or to emergency room, but anyway, I think it was like 57 stitches in his leg. Oh, and about a week after that, he's laying on the couch, and his shorts have come up in the back. And I look at his leg, and I go, "What in the world? What's wrong with your leg?" He and his friend Shane had been playing with matches, and they were killing ants and poured gas on them, and the gas came up to him and caught his leg on fire. He didn't want to tell us because, he didn't want to get in trouble. And so I had to take him to the doctor, and they had to scrub his leg to make sure it didn't get infected. So always tell your parents when you do something silly or stupid. Let's see. We went to the Utah State Fair. We were all walking around having fun, looking at all the different things. I think we were like in the, I'm going to say vegetable part. That's not the word I want. So anyway, we're walking along and, talking and everything. And there's so many people there that it was, you could easily lose a child. And so I thought Rod had Scott by him, and he thought I had Scott by me. And all of a sudden we realized neither one of us had him. So we both panicked. There was a guy at that time that was kidnapping little boys and killing them. So that's the first thing that went through my mind, and it scared me half to death. So we retraced our steps, and there he was with a couple that had seen him alone, and so they were just kind of watching him. I was so happy.